Hey, residents of Mapletown, today we are going to be looking at Carnival of Monsters, a Richard Garfield game. In this game, we are going to be going out and we're going to be hunting and collecting monsters to see if we can have the most exotic and wild monsters to showcase in front of the Royal Society. So I say let's dive in and let's look at Carnival of Monsters by Richard Garfield. Alright, so here's Carnival of Monsters all set up and ready to roll. I've taken these Carnival cards and I've gone ahead and I've given 8 to each of the 3 players. I'm going to play all 3 of these just so you all have a really good idea of how the gameplay works. We're also going to have some danger dice and some danger tokens here I'll talk about here. This is at the kind of end of the round. We'll look at those then. We also have right here in the center of some loan cards, so if we need to spend money and we can't spend money, we can take a loan. We'll get 3 coins, but we're also going to lose 5 victory points at the end of the game, so that's not good. And these are the crowns or the money tokens that we'll be using over the course of the game. Now, each player starts off with 4 of them, as you can see here. We're also going to start with 8 cards, and we're going to start with 2 land cards. And the land cards are how we're going to be able to get monsters and capture monsters so the society can see how cool of monsters that we have. I'm going to go ahead and just dive in and show you how the game is played. So what we're going to do first to begin the round is we're going to flip over this card. Now this card is going to tell us how we're going to get some bonuses. So for the depths cards, you see that we have 2 of us have depths lands. It says for each player gains 2 crowns the first time they play a depths monster, and I'll show you how that works. So if the first time I play a depths monster, or this player does, or this one if they get some depths lands, they're going to take 2 crowns and they're going to get those crowns. Additionally, whoever has the most depth monsters at the end of the round is going to take this card, giving them 3 victory points for the end of the game. So let's go ahead and let's draft these cards. I will take this player right here, and we're going to look at the cards. And you notice that there are going to be monster cards in this game. There are also going to be cards that are going to give us bonuses, like this one says reveal any number of cards from your kept cards, which we'll talk about that here in a second, and you'll get a crown for each. So ways to get like crowns and money really quick and different things like that. We're going to have lands cards as well, which we'll talk about here in a second. And then we're also going to have explorer cards, which are going to give us different bonuses over the course of the game. So she would love to play this sea creature here, this merfolk, because that would give her 2 crowns, but she doesn't have a land. And so what she's going to do is she's going to actually choose to take this depths card, which will allow her to hopefully be able to play this card. Don't know if it's going to get back around to her, but she's thinking, I'd like those 2 crowns, so I'm going to keep this. So what she'll do then is she'll actually place that in the center. These are going to end up coming to me, but let me look through the cards and see what I have here. This is going to cost me 2. So in the top right-hand corner, the shell snapper, this is going to tell me how many lands I need to have, land points, in order to play or to try to capture the monster. Because I only have 1 land point right now, I cannot capture this shell snapper. So that stinks. I see that, I like it. Oh, there's a merfolk in this one as well. So I'm thinking I want crowns quickly. I'm going to take this merfolk. It's 1 land point. I have 1 land point. It'll also be worth 3 victory points, which is nice. So I'm going to take that one. I'm going to put these cards over here. And then we're going to look over here at the 3rd player. And he is going to, oh, here's something else that we haven't seen yet. There is 1 victory point per level 1 monster in your menagerie, which is going to be how we're capturing monsters. So for every level 1, which would be like my merfolk, which was level 1, I would get 1 victory point at the end. So these are ways to score more victory points at the end of the game. Okay, let's see here. There's no way for this player to get any depths creatures because this one is going to cost 2, and there's no depths cards as well, lands for him. So he's actually going to take this dryad, which is level 1. So he has 1 land point there, and he's going to put that there because he wants some victory points for that. So we're going to pass these. This is kind of cool. This shows you which direction in the 1st and 3rd round. This is going to have 4 rounds or 4 seasons. We're going to pass them to our left. So this is going to go to the left. This is going to go to the left. And this is going to go to the left right here. Then what we're going to do is we're all going to play our cards. So we're going to flip them over. And this is going to go as another lands card. I'm going to take my merfolk, and I'm going to put it up here above the shallows of the depths card so that I can remember how many points. Because I've taken 1 land point to play this level 1, that uses up my land point here. So I cannot use this card for any other because I've used up that land point. So that's how you play monsters. It's actually really simple. So this person is going to play the Dryad. I'll put it up on this board here a little bit. Above here, which again, 1 land point for level 1 monster, it's going to use up this 1 land point as well. So that is the end of the first choosing. Now this player is going to look over here wishing that they could get something for the depths. They can't. Let's see what else they have. There's no level 1 monsters, so that's not great. So this player is going to focus on building up some lands because, hey, there's 4 rounds in this game, and she's going to take this Caves card. There's 4 rounds in this game, so she's thinking, let's get my lands built up. I'll worry about some victory points a little bit later on. All right, so I'm looking at these cards. I wish that I could play this Merfolk because I'm thinking that this player right here is going to want to get that next. They're going to tie me, but there's no way for me to play that because I don't have a land. Now, what I could do, if I want to be kind of mean, is I could actually keep this card, but it's going to cost me a coin, which actually might not be a bad idea because I know that there's probably no one else. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to play a little mean. I'm going to take this Merfolk card. I'm going to put it into my kept cards, and that's going to cost me 1 coin in order to do so. All right, this player then is going to look and wish that they could get that too. Okay, this player is actually going to play this person right here, because what this is going to do is it says declare the land type when you play it. So it's going to allow this player to, actually this needs to go up here, sorry. It's going to allow this player to make this a permanent land. And he's thinking, I want 2 depths because maybe this shell snapper will get back around to me. I wish I would have thought about that, but that's okay. So they're going to put this here. We're going to put this right over here, and let's go ahead and let's reveal the cards. So she's going to put her extra cave card right there, showing that she has 2 cave points now. I'm going to keep mine so I don't reveal that, and I pay a coin at this point. So I did that a little too soon. Sorry about that. This player then is going to reveal that they are going to take this person, and they are going to pay, it costs 2 coins though, but this will be a permanent land, and he's going to say, I'm going to make this a depths land, again, hoping to get some bonuses for that and maybe to tie or beat me in that 3 points there. So we're going to shift all of these cards to the left. Here we go, here we go, here we go, and we're going to keep going. So let's see what this person does. Really wants that. So they could keep going on the caves. They cannot use these cards, and I'll show you these. The Enchanted Forest, it's worth 3 land points, but what these little drop-down things mean right here, this means that you have to have 2 lands in play already, 2 enchanted lands in play in order to even play this. It's called a distant land. So I cannot actually play this card right now. So she doesn't have a whole lot of choices here. She's going to go ahead and pick this Dreamlands card and put that down there. I am going to look here and... Okay. I wish I could do this Ares land card, but it's 2 and I've only got 1. And there's no lands here. I don't like spending money, but I'm going to keep this right here, which is going to give me victory points at the end of the round. 1 victory point for each level 1 monster in my menagerie, which is, again, is going to cost me... Actually, I need to place it there. Do it right, John. And then it'll cost me another coin. So now this player is looking through here, and I was really hoping for a level 2 there. There's another way to get another land for some coins. They don't have a ton of choices here. This says... No, that's not going to work for them as well. They could take a hunter token, which will help us in the danger part of the round. Or they could go ahead. I think they're actually going to choose to take this caves card because they want to at least get some caves built up for later rounds. All right, so now we're going to reveal. She has another Dreamlands land, so she's just loading up on lands. I am going to take this, which I don't, and put that in my keep cards, which is going to cost me yet another coin. And he is going to grab a caves card, which will be better for the caves land. So let's shift these around. Hope I'm doing that right. All right, so the next round, she is... She's actually going to take this card right here because she's thinking that she can make this into a land that she really... Yeah, that she wants to. So she's going to do that. So the choices are getting a little simpler because there's not 8 cards here. Okay, so let's see here. I don't have any staff cards in play. That's not going to help. I'm going to take this Caves card. And then this player is going to be super excited because now they've actually going to get to play this Hydra. This has a danger symbol, which we'll talk about here in a second, because he has 2 land points, 2 depths land points. So that's exactly what he wanted to have happen. And so let's go ahead and reveal the cards. All right, so she is going to take this card, and she's not going to put on depths because she's thinking, I don't see a chance. I mean, she could be thinking that this number 2 could come back around to her. Yeah, let's act like she's thinking that. Well, actually, she sees that he has 2 and thinking, oh, he'll take it if he has a chance. So she's thinking, let's work for next round. So she's going to spend 2 coins now to have now 2 Enchanted Forest lands. So though she doesn't have any monsters, she's getting set up to score some points in later rounds, hopefully, if the monsters that she wants come out. Whoops, let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to have caves, so I've got a little bit more land options as well. And then he does the big reveal where he's going to get to play this Hydra monster, which will get him 2 crowns, because you remember when you first time you play a Depths monster, you're going to get 2 crowns. So now he's got some more crowns over here. And he's also going to be dominating me in this because it is not the most cards, it's the most victory points. So he has 8 victory points here. I'm going to have 3, and he knows, all right, he's going to get that card, which is going to get him another 3 victory points. So he played it perfectly well. All right, let's go here. We only have 4 cards left, so this is going to be pretty quick. She doesn't have any Ares land, so she can't do anything with that. She can't do anything with this troll. Reveal any number of kept cards from your menagerie. Okay, so what she's going to do is she's going to be looking, I think she's going to look to the future. And she sees that she has, oh wait, she does have 2. Never mind, she's excited. She has 2 woodlands now, so she's going to take that. Simple decision. Trying to keep up with all 3 of these. Almost made a mistake there. All right, so I'm looking here. I don't have any of these lands. So those aren't going to help me unless I want to try to get more at the end of the game. I'm actually going to take this because this is going to allow me to take 1 hunter token. And again, we'll show what that does here in a second. And then he is going to look and go, oh, there's another shell snapper. So man, she wishes that she would have put it over here. I guess that's kind of me not paying too much attention here, but she didn't know that was going to happen, so that was her decision. All right, let's see here. So this is not going to work. Gain 2 crowns for each staff card you have in play. He does have a staff card, so he could take this for 2 crowns, but he's going to choose to take this Dreamlands card to build up his Dreamlands lands just a little bit. So let's go ahead and flip. She's going to put the Wood Troll right here, which is going to get her 8 victory points at the end of the round, as long as she can deal with the danger here. I'm going to reveal this, which is going to get me a Hunter token, which I'm going to place right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and discard that. I'll just discard it face up. And then he is going to reveal that he took a Dreamlands, and we're going to continue to shift these around. All right, so, oops, actually, let's go with this player first. Almost got a little too excited there. Okay, so she is going to absolutely take this Enchanted Forest because she has 2 lands now that are Enchanted Forests, and that means that she can play this card, which is going to give her 3 lands total. She'll have a total of 5 Enchanted Forest lands, which will really set her up later in the game to score some potential big monsters with those. I'm going to look here, and I am going to... This says, reveal any number of cards from your kept cards, not your menagerie. Gain 1 crown for each monster you reveal. So I know that I have a monster here that I can reveal, and it will get me 1 coin, or I could be... See, this is part of the game that's interesting, is I could take some of these bigger monsters that could score more victory points and put them down here in my kept cards. I just don't like that I don't have any of these lands right here. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to play that one. All right, he is going to realize that he doesn't have those 2. This says reveal any number of kept cards. Oh, so this is the exact same card, I guess. Yeah, I just did that right. But he doesn't have any kept cards, so he's actually seeing... He's going to take this. He's going to say, I'm going to take this Tree Walker because it can score me 11 points later on. All I'm going to have to do is get 2 more lands. And so he's going to put that there. We're going to do the reveal. This is going to go to the Enchanted Forest lands. So again, she's got 5, which is really nice. I am going to reveal that I have this, so I'm going to reveal any number of cards from my kept cards and gain 1 crown for each monster I reveal. So I'm going to reveal to everyone that I have this merfolk monster, and because I reveal that, I'm going to gain a crown. Alright, so he is going to not reveal this and say that he's going to just keep that card right there, which again is going to cost a crown. Alright, so it's going to move along, only 2 more, and then I'll show you how the end of the round goes, and then share with you how the scoring is at the end of the game. So she's going to doesn't have much of a decision here. It's easy for her because she's spent 2, but she has 5. Perfect. Go ahead and grab this as well. So that's worked out really well for her. Looks like everyone's doing better than me over here. Getting 2 crowns for each staff card I have in play. I don't have any. I think I'm going to save this Shell Snapper maybe for later on. I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't really have any other choices. This is where it gets hairy because you got to have some coins. If you don't have coins, then you can't keep a card. But you have to either play a card or keep a card. Capture a card or play a land card or one of these or keep a card. And so you might end up having to take loans in order to keep cards later in the game. So those are decisions that you're having to make and why you need to have some money. You also need money for the danger thing I'm going to talk about here in a second. So now he's in the same situation where he can't use either one of these cards. And what is he going to do? He doesn't have either one of these lands either. So he's going to actually play it a little safe. There's also this symbol right here that he wants to use, and I'll tell you what this is, even though we won't be able to see exactly what it looks like in play. When someone plays one of these cards to capture one of these, if it has this symbol right here, that means that you draw a card from the deck immediately, and you can either immediately play it if you can. So if it was a land card, you could just play it. If it's a monster that maybe requires more, you can keep it. So you can either play it immediately or keep it, but when you keep it, it's totally for free. So these are actually kind of nice. So he's going to say he wants to keep that card. So we're going to flip, and she's going to show that she has another one of these, which again, she has 2 levels, so that's 4 total, but she has 5 land points, so she's doing great. I'm not going to reveal this. I'm just going to say that I'm keeping this card here, which is going to cost me a coin, and he as well is going to do that. And so one of the interesting things about this game is that you just get stuck with whatever card is left. I don't know if I like this part of it. It can be very cutthroat at the end. So there's no decisions to be made. She has to play this card or keep it. She doesn't have any of those lands, so she's going to have to keep it, which is going to cost her a coin. She's down to 1 coin now. Really hoping that we roll some cages in the danger zone, not the danger zone, in the danger part of the turn. I've got this, which says reveal any number of key. Oh, so this is allowing me to do. This was actually perfect to come to me. So I will keep that, which means I will reveal any number of keep cards. I'll reveal 2 cards now. So now I'm going to get 2 crowns. So that was absolutely fantastic for me. So she gave me a perfect card. And then he is going to gain 2 crowns for each staff card you have in play. He has this 1 staff, so he gets 2 crown cards, so that worked out really well. So on the last round, it worked really well for us two. She got, I don't know if she got hosed, because she actually might be able to use that later on in the game. All right, so that's the end of the first part of the phase. Now, we move on to the danger phase, but before we do that, what we're able to do is play any number of kept cards that we want to. Now, she can't play this because she doesn't have the distant lands for it. I have 3 kept cards. Now, one of them is victory points at the end. I've got these 2, but again, I don't have the distant lands, so I can't play them. And he's going to look at his cards, and it's the same thing. Now, in later rounds, this can be really big. I could take these cards, and what I'm going to hope to do is in later rounds, before we do the danger phase, play these depths cards so that I can get those monsters out. All right, so now that everyone has decided they're not going to play any of their kept cards because they can't, now we're going to move to the danger phase. And so in this phase, we're going to look at how many danger symbols are on each monster's card. And so this player, she's got 1 danger symbol. I have none. He has 1 danger symbol. So we're going to take these 3 die. We're going to roll them. We're going to send the Royal Hunters out. And, whoa, that is not good for these players. So we just rolled up triple blanks. What are the odds of that? All right, so that's actually good because this will show you what happened. So now, because the Royal Hunters did not capture, now if they had rolled just 1 cage, it would have been enough for the 1 danger symbol. Really, really simple. Or if they would have rolled more than 1, they would have been perfectly fine as well. But since they did not, they have to spend these hunter tokens, these cage tokens, or they have to have like a hunter player. That's like how these right here are permanent lands. There are players that have permanent danger or cages or whatever. They take one danger away for the rest of the game. Well, guess what? This player does not have any of those. So, and neither does he. So she's going to have to pay 3 crowns per symbol. And now look at this. She only has 1 crown. So she's going to have to take a loan out to get the 3 crowns to pay for those. So I'm just going to leave those in there. And then these are, she's going to have to keep this for the rest of the game and have -5 victory points at the end of the game. So she ran the risk knowing it was possible, but thinking, at least would get 1 cage. It doesn't affect me because I don't have any danger symbols. It does affect him, but he does have 3 coins that he can spend, so he doesn't have to take out a loan. So now what we're going to do is we're going to evaluate this depths card. And again, we said whoever has the most depths victory points in play will take this. And it's obviously this player who has 8. I only have 3. He's going to get to take this card now. Oops, I had another card under there. Oops-a-daisy. He's going to get to take this card now and going to play it into his menagerie, and that's going to give him 3 points at the end of the game. Then all players who are able to capture their monsters are going to take their monsters and put them into their menagerie, and that is going to be the end of the round. Now, what the card I accidentally had flipped over was the next rounds here. To start the next round, we're going to flip this card over, and for this next round, it would be Danger Symbols is going to give you the coins for the first one that you play, and whoever has the most is going to get those 3. But we're not going to do that, so I hope that that gave you a really good idea of what one of the rounds looks like. All right, so before I give you my thoughts on the gameplay and the arts and the components, I will just share with you very briefly how you score and tally the scores up at the end of the game. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at every monster that's in your menagerie, and you're going to score the victory points that are on there. Then you're going to look for any of these cards like I have that say 1 victory point per level 1 monster. So I would have got an extra victory point for that 1 that I had there. You're also going to score a victory point for every coin that you have. Additionally, if you have, or crown, I should call it the right name, if you have any of these cage tokens, you're going to get victory points for those as well. Then you're going to get victory points for any of these compass tokens, and then you're going to minus victory points for any of the loans. So that's how you're going to end the game. So I guess let's go ahead and let's talk about the art and the components of this game. I'm going to start off with the cards. The cards are really nice. I like the cards here. I really like this board here in the middle of the table. I'm kind of OCD sometimes about the way I stack things, and I try to get things lined up like that drives me nuts there. But because of this board, I'm going to shove these over. Because this board has these coins that are just kind of strewn about, it gives me the freedom to feel like I can do just that and just throw a bunch of coins in the middle of the table. I think that's actually really cool, and I like that a whole lot. The art on the cards are really nice. I like the art on the cards. They are fine. These player boards are thin, but they don't slide around very easily, which is nice as well. I will say that I can see some lines kind of here on the board, which means it's probably not this is not the greatest quality board, but it's not bad. And these are decently thick cardboard, so overall, I think that the components are good. I think the cards are really good. The rest of the components are adequate. They're fine. But I do think the art is really nice in this game as well. So let's go ahead and talk about gameplay. All right, so let's talk about gameplay. One of the things I do really like about this game is I like the simultaneous play. I like that about these basic card drafting games where you're all playing at the same time. There's not a whole lot of downtime, so that's really nice. I also like how you can keep cards, which leads to a lot of interesting decisions. There's a lot of drafting games where that's not the case. The cards that are being held or dealt are the cards that you're going to have for that round, and that's that. Here it leads to more interesting decisions because you may take a card that is going to be very, very costly that might score you 14 victory points, but you can't play it right now, but you're going to keep it and then try to build up your lands in order to capture that at a later point and get a really big score. So there are some interesting decisions you're making, like, okay, do I want to go ahead and play this card that I can play right now, but I also am scared that it won't get back around to me. But then again, there's this great monster card that I could save for later to score me, instead of 3 points, 16 points. So what do I do? So I like that a lot about the game. I also like the loan thing. I think it's actually brilliant. The way that you have to, if you're going to keep a card, first of all, you have to pay a crown. And if you need to have more crowns and you don't, you have to take out a loan. So you're having to constantly watch your money very carefully, because it's possible, like the last 2 or 3 cards that come your way for the round, you could have to spend crowns for each one of them because you just can't play them. And so you got to make sure that you have enough of those crowns so that you're not taking out loans or a whole lot of loans. A lot of times over the course of the game, you might take out 1 loan or 2 loans, but you're trying to just, I guess, not have as much damage as possible. So I really enjoy that part about the game. Now, some negatives for me is the glaring negative that I just don't like about the game is that I wish that the cards were actually had 4 different piles for the different seasons, like 7 Wonders where you have them for the different eras or whatever. The reason I say that is more than once I've played this game and been all excited. We get into the 4th season, I have this awesome bunch of lands built up, and my opponents do too, and we're all excited, and we deal out these cards, and they're mostly lands. There's not a lot of monsters that come out. And honestly, it's just really anti-climactic whenever that happens. When you're all hyped up for that last season and you have a bunch of land cards come out instead of monster cards. And that's really, really disappointing, because other than that, I actually really do, I like this game. But that's a decent negative for me in this game. I wish that they would have just come up with, again, different cards for different seasons, to where you had more lands at the beginning, and as you get later on, there were less lands and maybe some more monsters. However, I say that, but then I also say I like how you can have the powerful monsters early in the game. If you had something like that, you may not have those show up as early in the game. So, but still, I wish there was something there, because I've had more than one game where it was kind of womp womp at the end because of that. So here are my final thoughts. I really wanted to just love this game. I really did. Richard Garfield, man, amazing guy. Makes great games. I came into this with pretty high expectations, wanting to just love this thing. And I thought that I think the game is good. I think it's not a bad game at all. I think that, as I mentioned earlier, that glaring issue, it's hard for me to get past and really bump it up to games that I just love. So because of that, I'm going to give this game a 6.5 out of 10, which is, I think it's a good game. I think it's a solid game. I'm glad that I have it in my collection. In fact, one of the other bonuses, things I like about this game, is that it's cheap. I think that I saw it in the store. I could be wrong, for like $25 or something. So it may be worth it just picking up for $25, because that's really awesome. And you also may not have the issue that I had with the lands. I know I've heard some other people say that as well, but you may not have that issue. But I mean, overall though, I still like the game. It's still a fun game. I'm still glad that I have it. It's just not going to be one of those games that I have to run out and get by any stretch, because it just has that issue there. And I also say too that I wish there was maybe a little more depth, for my personal taste, a little more depth, a little more strategy. You're kind of just putting lands out and putting monsters out, putting lands out and putting monsters out. Of course, they have the staff and the victory point things and stuff that are going around, but it's kind of simple. But overall, again, good game, not great game. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. If you are enjoying our channel, please subscribe. It's a huge help for us if you would do so. Also, we're on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter, and those are all at Meepletown Games. If you want to get even deeper in our community, which this is what we're all about. We're all about strengthening community and having a great, vibrant online community for board gamers. If you want to join our guild, we're Board Game Geek Guild 3407. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild, Guild number 3407, at BoardGameGeek.com. And also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.